How's it going, everybody? I'm Jake Clark, joined by head girls soccer coach Jim Kay here in the Coaches Show. And Coach, we met briefly around the middle of the season. Now the season's wrapped up. And who was the best opponent you played all season now that we're in postseason time?
So I think, going into our coaches tournament, I'd have to say Ocean City. I think that was the best in a sense that we never faced them before. All the teams on our schedule this year we've seen in the last couple years, whether it's a scrimmage, whether it's a game, and I think just the unknown of Ocean City coming in with such a dynamic of players and unbeaten at that time was probably our toughest opponent in my opinion.
Now, we talked to a couple of the 4 or 5 girls separately, and they all said immediately it was Cherokee. Now, why do you think that they picked Cherokee, but you're picking Ocean City?
So I think with Cherokee, I think Cherokee was probably more of a well-rounded team in terms of their 11 players. I think that there wasn't many weaknesses out there. It was a first-round game for us, and I think the loss last year probably reflected some of that. They knocked us out of the coaches tournament last year with a 5-0 loss, and so I'm sure a lot of that was on top of their heads. But I felt pretty confident with that game just because I knew, like we said, we knew a lot of the players. There was a comfort level there, and I thought if we can get past that, and we knew Kingsway, if we could figure out a way to get past them, then the real test was going to come.
And you mentioned Kingsway there, Coach. Talk about some of the things that went right for you guys to get a come-from-behind win on the road against Kingsway.
Yeah, I think that the girls, I just think determination in that game. I think that they really gutted out a performance there. We did a great job of getting some set pieces, of which we've been strong on all year. And, our defense buckled down in that second half. It was just a matter of, being down 2-1 so late in the game was going to be a little bit of a gut test to see what we had in the tank. And it's the end of the season. You're playing conference games, coaches games, but the girls really stepped up. They showed that they had something left.
And then they moved on to play who you thought the hardest opponent of the season was in Ocean City. You guys came from behind. You were down 2-0 at halftime, won the game 3-2. What were some things that really helped you guys and then moved on for the rest of the season?
So again, I think with that game, both teams were undefeated at that point. Probably, arguably 2 of the top 2-3 teams in South Jersey, and not having seen them. I mean, I've never played Ocean City in my career, scrimmage or game. So I think that was tough. We knew the scorer up top. We've had some experience with her growing up. Some of the players have played against her. We knew the dominant performance that she brings to the table each game. They have a great central midfielder. Their defense is strong. We knew they were physical. Every scouting report leading up to the game was really just you gotta compete with their pace and their physicality. And I figured just the unknown was going to be one of the bigger obstacles.
And then eventually you guys moved on, faced off against Eastern, won in penalty kicks, and are the first team in school history to win the Coaches Cup for the girls. How did this entire Coaches Cup experience prepare you guys for the Group 2 playoffs?
I think it was amazing. I think that you can't ask for a better Final Four games leading into the playoffs. The way our schedule was set up this year, I think the difference in last year and this year was we kind of set our schedule up with the anticipation of maybe going further and hopefully going further. I felt like last year's schedule we had, I think at one point we ended up playing 5 games in 7 days, including coaches games, and I think that really beat up at us a little bit, and it showed. This year's schedule allowed us, recovery time. Like we didn't have to double up games. Our conference schedule was done, and we had sealed that up. And I think I told the girls playing these 4 teams leading into the Group 2 playoffs is, probably the best preparation you can have because you're not going to see many teams consistently that bring the same effort as these 4.
And then it was the second round, but your guys' first game in the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs against West Deptford, a commanding 5-0 win. What went right for you guys in that game?
So I think that, one of the big fears was like being off. That was something that we thought about. Hey, we're going to have to get the engine restarted. We had 7 days, almost 8 days between games. And, the girls, West Deptford came out strong, probably first 7-8 minutes, but we got an early goal. And I think that was the key. I think getting that early goal off the set piece from Ireland kind of woke us up, got us going, brought some energy back. And then, we finished off 2 more in that first half. And even that early 4th goal that we immediately got in the second half from Monty was huge. Because I think any hope that West Deptford maybe had of saying, hey, if we can get a goal, get back into this change the momentum, that 4th goal erased it. So Shot good shots on target. I mean, Jordan Baker's goal was unreal. You know, back post off the post there. You know, and just we put target balls on net, which was great.
And then defensively, you guys played as a unit really well. Talk about how important it is for the girls to play as a unit and not be over-aggressive.
Yeah, I mean that's been huge all year. We've from Maddie to our backs, so we talked about how each of them kind of possess a different strength. You know, whether it be speed, whether it be strong in the air, whether it be the ability to win a 50-50 ball. And I think when we, you know, contribute those attributes together and play as a unit, we're tough. You know, it's hard to get by us. But we know going into this now, like you know, our talk has been every game's going to be tougher, and every game we have to kind of turn our dial up and play better and play smarter and do the basics better. So that defensively, yeah, we rely a lot on those girls back there to, you know, help man down that back end so that our forwards can try to get up and attack.
And then in the middle of the field, you guys really controlled the middle and controlled time of possession. Is that something that's really important to you as a coach?
Yeah, it is. It is. And we knew, like with the West Effort game, I mean, they had marked out, they had tried to mark our middle a little bit and see if they could put one of their better defenders on Ireland, maybe to slow the play, to slow transition, and, you know, her ability to get the ball up. And we had other kids step up. I mean, I thought Morgan was dominant in the middle. Shay played well. Jordan played well. Adriana Zazada. You know, I thought we said collectively as a group, we want to get good possession in there. All those girls I just mentioned have the ability to serve great balls, to play great balls up, to put balls on target, and you know, that was big. We needed that there, and even in this game today, like we're really going to need a good middle performance against these guys to get some opportunities.
And then last question about the West Deptford game. Some of those goals seem to just float over the hand of the keeper. They seem to be more crosses towards the net. Do you think the wind played a factor on some of those goals?
Yeah, I do. I think, like, with our field being so open and, you know, sometimes just getting the ball up high can shift that ball in the air, and it makes it difficult. I think in the girls' game, you know, you find with keepers, it's the higher ball is a tougher save than it is in the boys' game. And generally, you know, male keepers are taller. They may have a little bit better spring, whereas, you know, we're fortunate because we have Maddie who can cover the whole net, you know, both width-wise and height-wise, but that's a tough shot. I mean, it's a tough save for goalies to make, and we always say if we get a ball up high, you know, to follow it as well. You're going to get a tip, you're going to get a crossbar, you know, so there's a good chance a rebound's going to come because it's a tough ball to handle.
And now looking forward to today's game against Cinnaminson. This year they're 15-5. 2 years ago they ended your season. Are you treating this as a revenge game?
Yeah, I think definitely the girls. We joked about redemption. Like we kind of talked about this is a redemption tour for us. This playoff. You know, every year we discuss the 6-game season, and that's playoffs. If you can win, go 6-0, you're a state champion. And the goal is to just continually, you know, press towards that 6th win. And you know, fortunately this year we're in a 5-game season because we had a first round bye, but. You know, we jokingly have labeled it the redemption tour because we want to, you know, we want to get to what, you know, further than we got before. We want to attain that, hopefully that South Jersey Group 2 title, and, you know, maybe get a chance to go on for the big title.
And now looking at today's matchup, what are some things that were thrown into the game plan that are specifically put in to counter the Pirates' attack?
So, I mean, with Cinnaminson, I mean, they have a very good offense. They've scored a lot of goals this year. They have 2 quality players up top in Costin and Moore, who have speed, who have good skill. You know, I think with them, they play good soccer. They're possession-oriented. I think with us is we're older. Like the one thing you see with them, they're a younger team in terms of where their star power sits a little bit. And I think experience, I think physicality, I think our strength and size, I think those are going to be key aspects today to get out and win 50-50 balls, to win our position area. You know, I think we can match up well with their speed with Elise and Erin in the back and Cami, but we have to, we definitely have to do a good job controlling the game and controlling the ball.
And you mentioned how high-powered that offense is. Talk about how much of an advantage it brings for you to have a goalkeeper like Maddie Sims.
Oh, it's huge, and Maddie is just game by game getting more confident and getting stronger. I think, you know, that coaches tournament probably benefited her, you know, arguably the most because, you know, the Eastern game, double-digit saves and getting some penalty kick experience. And I just think you see it. I see it in her practice habits right now. I see it in the game. She feels confident. Like I said, she covers the net. She's not an easy target in there, but that's big. And you know, we need Maddie to be a general back there, to be someone that can help us out and keep that ball, in front of that goal line.
And then last question for you today, Coach. Last time we had you here on the set, you talked about how important it is to have not one, not two, but three really capable goal scorers in Ireland Kay, Montgomery Dram, and Tony Trillo. Which one of those three is going to have to really break out today for you guys to advance to the championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'll take a goal from each of them, hopefully, but I think that, in this game, I almost want to say it's Tony's turn to come out and get something. She's been plugging. She's been working hard. She's had a little bit of bad luck with the finish, but Monty did great yesterday in the game the other day against West Effort, and I thought she was going to have a good game. It was our first game playing them. She created tons of chances, but just couldn't hit that net. And I knew in her head she wanted a little bit of a payback in that sense, but I think it's going to be important to set pieces. Last game against West Effort, I think one of the few games where we didn't get multiple set piece goals, or we kind of got our goals off of shots. But Elise, Morgan, Maddie, Whalen, girls that get into the box on some of those set pieces, we'd love to see a complete contribution from them as well. So, we'll take them from all three though. So I'll take one from each.
So that's going to do it here for this Coaches Show. Again, I'm Jake Clark, joined by head coach Jim Kay. Thanks for tuning in with us, and as always, go Knights.